Well, if you've ever driven around Siouxland lately, you may have noticed some black tubes that cross some roadways. The Iowa Department of Transportation is responsible, using the equipment to measure traffic patterns, which has a big impact across the state. KTIV's Matt Hoffman spent time with the district transportation planner today. So Matt, let's get into the details. How important is this data that's going to the state?
Yeah, Jessica, it's pretty important. The data that's collected right now will help the government decide where to install new traffic signals, help them choose which materials they use to build roads, and even help private businesses who need to know how much traffic will pass by. For the last several months, temporary summer workers have placed these black tubes all around northwest Iowa to gather a massive amount of data about traffic patterns. Every time a vehicle comes by, the change in air pressure is logged. That data is collected by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Whether it's for safety purposes, signals, we look at for programming, pavement determination, everything we do has some type of traffic count.
Throughout the summer, crews use the tubes, traffic cameras, and even manual counting to keep track of where vehicles are headed. Schultz says the data breaks down which lanes are most used, what type of vehicles mostly use those lanes, and how many vehicles pass by on an average day.
I mean, it's so those types of things, you think you know something, but until you have the data, then it proves what you either knew or didn't know about that route.
The data is, of course, used by all kinds of government agencies, but it's also used by private individuals and groups. Think about someone trying to launch a new gas station. They may look at the data and find the vehicle count, looking for roads that have unexpectedly high traffic but aren't yet served by any other fueling options. Each year, one quadrant of Iowa is surveyed, meaning most of Siouxland was last counted in 2019. The data gathered this year will be publicly available in the fall of 2024. Because Schultz says it takes a long time to crunch the numbers. Now, as a practical example, Schultz says traffic counts were higher in the Dace Avenue area back in 1999 because of a new bypass that was built in the early 2000s. But over in Sac County, vehicle counts revealed Iowa Highway 39 is more highly trafficked than previously thought, with 30% of the traffic actually being large trucks. Jessica?